Hello, and welcome to Spicy Toast Gaming. Thank you for tuning in to another Spicy Toast Gaming video. Today we're covering Master Yi and how he changes at max level. This is part of an ongoing series where we go through and look at every champion and see how they are at level 30 with 3 stars. Some champions dramatically change when they get maxed out, having a very different playstyle than when they are getting leveled up. Now, every champion is going to play faster just because you are more powerful, you're able to end games quicker, but for some champions it is almost a completely different playstyle. So, Master Yi, he really feels quite like Teemo without either extreme. So Teemo, when you start off, is a very slow ramp deck, and then once he gets maxed out, he's ending the game in the first 2 turns. Master Yi is not as slow in the beginning, but is still more of a scaling, somewhat ramp deck. And then when he's maxed out, he is very fast. He is ending the game very quickly, but it is still normally 1 or 2 turns slower than Teemo. So let's first discuss Master Yi and his star powers. So round start, reduce the cost of a spell in your hand by 1. And Flow, grant all allied Master Yis everywhere. So that is any that you don't even have in your hand yet, any that get created. It's just all of your Master Yis 2 power. So because of this, he is able to scale up throughout the game, becoming more and more powerful if he's on the board and getting that flow effect off. Now he levels up by dealing 12 damage, and then when he levels up now, when he attacks, he immediately strikes the weakest enemy. So there's nothing the enemy can do. It is essentially burst speed. It just hits the enemy unit and will take them out if he's has enough power. So very strong, but as you can see, he does have more of a synergy with stacking up, having him be on the board for multiple rounds, and getting more and more powerful. Now his star powers. When you play a non-fleeting spell, create a 1-cost fleeting Twin Disciples in hand. Twin Disciplines. Sorry, I always say Twin Disciples. That is my dyslexia getting the better of me. So that is right here. Give an ally 2 power or 3 health this round. And then also the 3-star effect is round start flow, grant allies 1/1. So again, contributing to that more stacking playstyle. And then his 2-star round start flow, give your strongest ally elusive this round. So flow, if you don't know how that works, cards that activate flow, if you've played 2 spells or skills last round, so this does work with skills, but you're mostly going to be using spells. So if you do 2 spells in 1 round, then in the next round you will have activated the flow effect, and all of these are going to trigger. So while it seems that he's going to be more of a scaling champion, what actually happens is when you have him maxed out, normally you're able to absolutely destroy the enemy very quickly, and you're able to do that with a build of powerful relics. So here, Archangel Staff, refill your spell mana around start. The Grand General's Counterplan, create a fleeting copy of me in hand, and then when I level up, rally. So if you have Master Yi on the board, every round he's going to refill your spell mana, he's going to create a fleeting copy of himself in hand, and then when he levels up, you're able to rally. His champion spell is Wuju style, so it's a 1-cost, give an ally 2 power this round, create a meditate in hand, and create a Master Yi in your deck. So you're going to be generating this every round. Now, because it's fleeting, it's not triggering your star power, but it is giving you 2 spells you can play. The important part, though, is if you go to his starting deck, the Wuju style has a champion horn. So every time you play this, you're drawing a champion. Since you're going to be stacking Master Yi in your deck, it's essentially an infinite loop of always being able to draw another Master Yi. He then converts into another Wuju style. You're able to play a Wuju style, draw another Master Yi, and essentially keep going on until you run out of mana or hand size. Now, with the Grand General's counter plan, while that copy is fleeting, the other copies you're drawing won't be, and since they're not fleeting, it will trigger your mind and body. So every time you play a non-fleeting spell, you're creating this, the Twin Disciplines. So essentially, you play Master Yi. Once he's on the board for a round, he's now giving you a spell, refilling your mana, and normally you're trying to get one of the powers that reduces your cards down. So either Spellslinger, all your cards cost one less, or Wild, I think it's Wild Inspiration, where your created cards cost one less, which means all your Twin Disciplines will be 0, and then the card you're creating is 0. So I know this is a lot of information, but essentially what happens is you're using all of these temporary buffs that only last the round, but you're stacking up Master Yi to an absolutely insane level that he can block anything the enemy throws at them, or he can attack for massive damage. Once he either blocks or attacks, he rallies, and then normally you either end the game right there, or you end it next round. So he's incredibly fast, and once you're playing through a longer match like Aurelion Sol or Galio, you're able to get a good amount of powers on him that you're essentially ending the game either the first round you play Master Yi or the next round. That's why I think there's an argument for him to potentially be considered like the bottom of S tier. I'd probably put him at the top of A, but he really is close to that level of like a Diana or a Jax where you play them and then you end the game that round or the next round. The one issue with Master Yi is he is 3 cost, so you normally can't play him on the first round unless you get a in-game item or power that lets you reduce his cost down a bit. So because of that, he's a little bit slower, and then normally you might need to get your flow effect off to maybe give Master Yi that elusive. So he's a champion where if you are forced to have a bit of a longer game, he will keep stacking up to insane levels with flow, grant Mali, or allied Master Yi's everywhere, that 2 power. Also flow, grant allies 1/1, and then also elusive. This one's temporary, just for the round, but he'll normally be your strongest unit, so he'll normally be getting this every round. And with this relic setup, you're always going to be able to activate your flow consistently every round. So your Master Yi becomes much faster. You're just playing spells non-stop. You're constantly shifting between playing a non-fleeting spell and then playing your Twin Disciples that you generate, playing a non-fleeting spell, and because of his power with Wuju style, he can very easily have an infinite cycle where he can just scale up to absolutely insane levels. Master Yi is definitely one of, if you take the time to star him up, to get him to max level, he will feel very strong and definitely has a good payoff. Can be a bit rough in the earlier levels, but definitely one to consider leveling up. I know this has been a lot of information, but you might want to go and look at some of the Master Yi runs I've had, and just you can see how insane he is. I think he's the easiest champion I've ever completed an Aurelion Sol run with. I've done, I believe, 2 runs with Aurelion Sol for Master Yi. Both of them were incredibly easy. At the end, he just was annihilating everything. Anyways, I hope this gave you a lot of helpful information. If you liked the video, definitely like and subscribe. And I hope you all have a great day. Thank you for watching that video all the way to the end. I just want to take a moment to say a special thank you to our first channel member, Dan. He joined the very first day that we actually unlocked membership. So thank you so much for your support. If you also want to become a channel member, you can just hit that join button down below and you'll get access to exclusive rewards such as our weekly channel update videos that we post every Friday. Thank you and have a great day.